TPCSI fans, you want to revolutionize your sports investing habits? Allow me to tell you about WagerWire. WagerWire is an app that helps you become a superior bettor by allowing you to sync all your sports books and track all your bets in one place. See your current action, your betting history, and stats. You could also sign up for sports books and collect bonus offers. Follow them at WagerWire on X, as it's the best account on the platform. Head to App Store or Play Store now and search WagerWire and download the app.
2,000 years long, we will never settle. Hard days, no way with a heavy metal. No time, no fail, won't stop here. Like a torch to a flame when it burns hot. We won't stop, come on, bring it higher.
Good afternoon, sports fans from all around the globe. I am the host, Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors, and it is that time. Yes, we're back. Fight Night Fortunes with Mr. Lou Finicaro at Gamb Lou on Twitter. Go follow him immediately if you're not. UFC 310. My headliner, Asakura remain a mystery and shock the world. And we got some great fights that, of course, Lou's going to break down. But before we get there, a shout out to our proud sponsor and partnerships. It's WagerWire. Head on over to Google Play, download the app. It's free. Travis, Zach, myself, Amber, Holly, Jay, Berry, Matt, the list is endless. We'll take good care of you, I promise. Atlanta Steaks and Seafood. Head on over to Facebook, introduce yourself to Terry Smith. While you're there, place an order at atlantasteaksandseafood.com. Steaks, seafood, chops, lobster tails, appetizers. He's got you covered for all the holiday festivities and throughout the football playoffs and more. So jump on over there, use the promo code STEAKS10 and get 10% off your full order there. And last but not least, Viva Tequila Seltzer, new flavor limon. I think of last week, 2 weeks ago, and to add to the East Coast is Cuckoo for Coconut. Now 6 flavors, CT Bets, Austin, my guy, the best in the business. Go try one where you purchase and drink adult beverages. Enough of me. Let's bring him in, Mr. Lou Finicaro.
Fresh off a Thanksgiving week off, which is really nice in the UFC, Jeff. We only get 5, 6, 7 of those in a year, so I love the rapid fire of being busy all the time, but I prefer once in a blue moon having a week off, and it just happens it was Thanksgiving. So get to concentrate on football, rest a little bit, and then we'll go this week, next week, and then there'll be 3 weeks off before the first event in 2025, which will be January 11th. So we'll get to speak this week and next week, and so let's see if we can't pull a few winners out of this week's card as well next.
Well, first and foremost, again, we didn't talk to you during the Thanksgiving break, and I wouldn't be doing my job. I want to ask you, how was your Thanksgiving little break? How was Thanksgiving? How was the football? How did everything treat you?
The football was great. The week prior, I don't remember the game, but it landed 35-10, and I had the under 46 and the over 42. It just landed perfect, and so it was beautiful. And then what I really want to highlight is Monday's game. I had a middle all perfectly set up as well, orchestrated beautifully. Jameis just didn't want to cooperate with me. I love Jameis Winston, but feast or famine, this was famine. He had a great night, but that pick six sent me instead of like a 4-1 to a 3-2. That's okay. It works that way. So the football was great. I do all the cooking at our house. To me, and I prefer to make any meal at any time. The Thanksgiving meal is the one I prefer the least because for me, it's the toughest one to get to the table all at once hot. So I got through that, watched some football. The first two games, Chicago and Detroit, it shouldn't have been a game. The next game we ate during, I think that was Giants Dallas, and then the night game we enjoyed. So tonight we have a good division, black and blue NFC North, Packers, Detroit. Just unfortunately, everybody's gotten soft in the 2000s, and there's no outdoor stadiums anymore. But it'll be inside, and I look for Green Bay to give Detroit everything they can handle and more. Mostly because Green Bay's healthy and Detroit really isn't.
Yeah, and I'm going to stay right there, Lou. It looks like nationally on social media, the Lions a handful of weeks ago putting up 50 burgers like nobody's business was the NFC champs already crowned and getting ready to play the Super Bowl. They've lost some of this luster. They've lost some of this sexiness due to a lot of injuries on the defensive side. This number ticked as low as 2.5 yesterday. Woke up this morning now looking at a 3.5 with a 51. I mean, the numbers to me read 27-24. First one to 27 wins this game. How do you see this playing out?
I don't see, I see under. I barely see 27 between the two of them. It's going to be a run fest the way I see it. I don't often like to bet the Thursday games. Here's how I'm looking at this Thursday game is that what happens if Green Bay wins? All of a sudden, you have a Green Bay team that's going to be 10-3. You're going to have a what would that be? 9-3 Detroit team because of buys, I believe. And then sitting real quiet there right now at 10-2 is Minnesota, the quietest 10-2 team history of the world. You look at DraftKings for the division, you can get the Packers plus 380, you can get Minnesota plus 480. If you look at all the schedules, I love Minnesota for the division at plus 480. Detroit has Minnesota yet, and Minnesota gets to play both Detroit and Green Bay at the end of the season. This is set up perfectly for Mr. Quiet Subliminal Minnesota to win this division, and if you take them now, it's almost 5-1.
And Sunday, they host the Atlanta Falcons, the Kirk Cousins revenge game. Here we go. So great.
Yeah, but that's all you got with Kirk Cousins. After that, you're going to take it. Listen, you're going to take Atlanta. That is in the bottom 5 in special teams. Okay, takeaways so far this year -6. Minnesota +5. Atlanta's defense 23rd ranked. Their offense decent ranked. And yeah, Kirk Cousins wants to go back and beat Minnesota. And I've always been a Kirk Cousins fan, but he's coming off 4 interceptions. And if you think he's automatically just going to play better off of the 4 interceptions, then you got more huevos than me. I think Minnesota drums them.
Well, I've been talking now the last couple of weeks, and I will take this one to my grave here. I think next year, opening day, Kirk Cousins will be a starting quarterback somewhere else, and Michael Penix Jr. will be the starting quarterback for Atlanta.
I got too much money to make this weekend. I can't worry about next year NFL, Jeff, but you're a better man than me if you're able to make those kinds of predictions.
UFC 310 back in Vegas, back at T-Mobile, 30-foot cage, 14 fights, 8 fights at plus 170 or better. Initial thoughts when you saw this card, second to last one of the year. We got 4 fights we're going to break down, but just an overview of this card, Lou.
Straight fire, deep as it can be. From the first fight to the last, there's compelling reasons to watch. And I believe it's going to turn into a really great betting card.
Well, we'll dive in right to the first one here. I am on DraftKings Live as we speak. Cody Durden versus Joshua Van Currently, Van minus 165. You can get Durden at plus 130. Over under 2.5 rounds, minus 125.
Very interesting fight. And this is a fight where Van, who's 25 years old, let me take it 23, fights Durden 33. What's the difference? Well, Van's a new style mixed martial artist. He's fast. He's really athletic, great feet, power, good on his striking. He faces Durden at 33. That's tough, durable, isn't near the athlete or as fast as Van. Can't strike with him either, but this is mixed martial arts, and what Durden does have is great grappling and wrestling. So this is going to be a perfect stylistic matchup where Van has to keep it on the feet, and Durden's got to get him into the fence or on the floor. Where this fight happens will tell us who's winning. To be quite honest with you, I think that Durden is eventually going to have to get somewhat desperate to get into the more athletic Van. And for a guy that opened 360, now you can catch him 160. I think Van's the only way to go, but you just got to make sure that he keeps this fight standing. And provided he does, the longer it goes, the more frustrated the wrestler Durden will become. And he'll have to make forays into the inside where he'll leave himself exposed, and he has been knocked out before. That total also indicates a Van finish because if it was an easy decision, 2.5 would be over 300 minus 280, but no, it's not. So I think all the indicators and the way I handicap this is, for me, Van or pass.
Okay, the second fight we have up here, let me grab this on the tote board here. Randy Brown versus Brian Battle, and you took it easy so far on me on the name, so I have to applaud you there as well.
Well, you've been pretty nice to me, Jeff, so I figured I'd give you a week off.
Battle minus 218, Brown plus 180, over 2.5, minus 135, Lou.
Not very often Battle fights a guy that's going to be taller and longer than him. Not very often will you ever find Randy Brown be in a fight with a guy that's almost as tall and long as him. These two guys are pure natural strikers. Brown, with 10 years of UFC experience, has fought some of the elite in the division, got thrown to the fire in his debut fight, and has been fighting through the fire and improving all the way until Saturday night, this fight. Brian Battle, less experience, has 3 or 4 UFC fights, has stepped up each time, and has completely decimated his competition along the way. I think that what we're going to see here is experience against a fighter that's a little more raw and a little more maybe violent. Battle's a bad hombre, and I've been on Battle in every one of his UFC fights. And in this fight, we took him earlier into a parlay. So we have him as an underdog, currently priced at minus, did you say 250?
Right now, Battle minus 218.
Yeah, Battle 218. I mean, this is going to be a really competitive fight. It's probably the best fight on the card. I believe it's going to be primarily a striking battle. I don't believe the other one shoots on the other unless he gets rung up. I lean to Battle here, but boy, it's tough to take a minus 2-1 when you're giving away height, reach, and experience. So this one I have less of a feel for than I sure do with Mr. Joshua Van.
Third fight on our card right now. 1, 2, 3. Let me move my mouse right now for you.
Gane and Volkov.
Come on. There. Gane versus Volkov. Right now, Gane minus 375, Lou. You can get Volkov at plus 295. Over 2.5, minus 298.
Okay, so this open, Gane, the Frenchman, Volkov, the Russian, obviously. Gane minus 235. So they're steaming Gane, okay? And this is also a rematch. And this is a rematch from 2021. Then Gane closed minus 147, but neither are the fighter now that they were then. Both have improved exponentially. Gane has fought for the championship twice, lost against Ngannou and John Jones. No shame in that, and he's beaten everyone else along the way. A little more singularly dimensioned, can't grapple, can't spell wrestle, but he's nimble on his feet and he's got power. The Volkov side on the other side, much more experience, been in the UFC for years. He's fought the who's who, the elite, and the bums. And in his last 3 or 4 fights has been stepping up each time. He made a gym switch. He's stronger. He's more focused. He's 35 against Gane 33, and he understands this is his last run. In the rematch, I look for, let me say it this way. In their first fight, they fought to a decision. Gane won relatively simply because Volkov wasn't near as aggressive as he's going to be Saturday. He wasn't near as strong, and he wasn't near as desperate. In this case, Saturday, he knows this is his last run, and he gets a championship shot at Aspinall should he beat Gane. So we're going to see a different Volkov. We're going to see a focused Volkov. Volkov, by the way, 4 inches taller, has 4-inch reach advantage, and can grapple. And that's what we're going to see. We're going to see Volkov take Gane down in this fight and put him on the ground and try and expose him there. Gane probably knows this is what's coming. He's prepared for it, and there is the suspense of this battle. I have already bet Volkov at plus 285. This is a insult price to Volkov. He may not win the fight, but he's going to give Gane his absolute best effort. And if I can get a guy to give me his best effort on a Saturday, and he's got a plus 285 next to his name, I'm in.
That is the co-main event leading up to the main event. Right now, Alexander Pantoja versus Kai Asakura. Right now, Pantoja minus 265. Asakura plus 215. Over 2.5. Minus 135, Lou.
Yeah, 5-round fight, over 2.5. I would right now, before I get done speaking this sentence, I would go bet this over. Asakura got tons of power. In fact, he's only got puncher's chance in this fight, in my opinion. He comes from the Risen organization. He fought there at bantamweight. That's 135. He hasn't fought at 125 in 4 or 5 years. So the first thing will be to watch and see how the weight cut goes. If he misses weight by 5-6 pounds, there's no fight. If he misses by 1 or 2, that's him saying, I can't cut all the way down because I'll suck all the energy out of me and I still want to try and win. Meanwhile, you got a champion in Pantoja, legitimate 125er, fast as lightning, skilled as he can possibly be, can strike, and can submit. He's a world-class Brazilian jiu-jitsu specialist. If he's light on anything, it's power and size. He's a touch undersized, does his damage through time and accumulation. I don't know enough about Asakura. All I know is that I got to watch the weigh-ins, and then I'm going to see that he's going to go out there and try and find Pantoja. And by that, I mean he's going to try and knock him out. And the big, strong bantamweight fighter that cuts all that weight's got a round or 2 in him, because then after that, he's going to suck out and start to run out of juice. And Pantoja just going to get warmed up in round 3 or 4. So I look for a pretty easy over here. I don't want to say easy, but I really see the over as being an opportunity in this fight.
Well, again, this week, this in Las Vegas, next week, the last card of 2024, we will graciously allow you to enjoy the rest of the holidays and the start of the new year. You'll be back, I think you said, on January 11th. We have a week to go. Last question, Lou. I know you're big into college baseball. I know this is your sport here, UFC. You always talk. You're not a million sports. You really try to stay.
I shoot with a rifle, not a shotgun. I'm not selling picks. I'm not putting food on my family's table from you guys having to buy picks from me. No, what I'm selling is profit and return on investment. And so I narrow my focus to increase my expertise. Same as an attorney. Hey, you get in a car wreck, you don't go to a litigation attorney, you go get yourself an attorney that sues somebody. And your kid breaks his arm, you don't send him to an ear, nose, and throat, you send him to an orthopedic. If every business is going to specialize, why shouldn't we?
1,000%. The scroll has been going the whole time. They know where to find you on X, obviously at Gamb Lou. But as we always end this segment, talk about your Monday podcast, your Friday, and of course your website.
Yeah, 2 podcasts, and they're both UFC. Monday is the sneak teep, and what we do is just preview the card and give you angles as to the big line moves and what I think of those moves. 5, 6 fights we usually discuss, and the podcast is 8-9 minutes. I'm not here to talk for an hour and a half. I don't know who would listen to a podcast more than 8-9 minutes. So that's the Sneak Teep podcast. And then on Friday at gamblou.com, you get the About Business podcast. Those are my final releases for each fight card. That one might go 15 minutes, but usually not longer than that. The webpage is gamblou.com. We route portion of our proceeds to the San Xavier mission, the oldest mission in the United States. That's right on the webpage there. And I appreciate you letting me mention that, Jeff. We'll be back next week right here, same time, same bad place, to discuss the UFC Fight Night from Tampa, Covington versus Buckley.
Well, we can't thank you enough. Enjoy the football game tonight. Enjoy the weigh-ins. Best of luck on this weekend's card, and we'll catch you next Thursday, same time.
Thanks so much. Enjoy the fights, everybody, and have a great weekend.
Thank you. Mr. Lou Finicaro, go follow him at Gamb Lou on Twitter. Elijah, quick commercial break, and when we come back, we will wrap it up.
For yourself a merry little Christmas.
Mr. Lou Finicaro, go follow him at Gamb Lou. Go check out his website at gamblou.com. Great guy, great friend and colleague. Always get the best from him. I really enjoy. I don't know where it's going to start. I do know where it's going to finish. And of course, that is in the Octagon. December 14th, next Saturday, Covington versus Buckley in Tampa. Then, as he said, 3 weeks off. We come back January 18th, the start of the new year. UFC 311, Makhachev versus, oh dear, Sirkayan 2. So obviously they have fought once prior. 5 p.m. Turn on the notifications. We are coming back with Ron Marmolevsky. We're going to talk some college football. We're going to talk some NFL. We'll break down, of course, this weekend's college conference championship games. I'll pick his brain on the brackets, the way they stand now, and we'll talk some NFL. I know we'll be talking about Detroit and Green Bay, of course. And then, of course, tomorrow morning, 11 a.m., the NCAA Insiders are back to talk some more college football. Shout out to the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Elijah Cox. Another amazing job. We can't do it without you. Thank you guys so much. We will see you soon.